Demographic analysis. By gender, Shawnee Heights can be measured as 52% male and 48% female. By race and ethnicity, Shawnee Heights Middle School is 69% white, 5% black, 17% Hispanic, and 8% recorded as other. In a measure of economically disadvantaged or non-economically disadvantaged, Shawnee Heights measures as 61% non-economically disadvantaged and 39% economically disadvantaged. Only 3% of the school's students are recorded as ELL students, English language learners. 12% of the school's students are students with disabilities. Demographically speaking, Shawnee Heights fits into a group of Topeka area schools that can be identified as majority white and contrasted with schools where the majority is not white, such as Highland Park High School. It is an absolutely essential role of teachers and other staff to make minority students feel welcome and to open themselves to the cultures of their students and their families in order to combat the discrimination and sense of otherness that is present in schools with white majorities. For example, a study by ThoughtCo found that students of color face racial microaggressions in schools as well, such as being criticized by teachers and administrators for wearing their hair in styles that reflect their cultural heritage. Demographic information must be considered when planning for the school year and when reflecting on the successes and goals of the previous school year. For example, during a professional development meeting, when reviewing student behavior in the previous year, I noticed that African American students were written behavioral referrals at twice the rate of white students. This must be addressed and corrected, and certainly analyzed. Student academic information is based on Kansas state assessments. State assessments break student performance into 4 levels. Level 1, limited ability to understand and use the material for college and career readiness. Level 2, the basic ability to understand and use the material for college and career readiness. Level 3, an effective ability to understand and use the material for college and career readiness. And Level 4, an excellent ability to understand and use the material for college and career readiness. In math, Shawnee Heights Middle School performed in 2018 with 22% of students at Level 1, 40% of students at Level 2, 29% of students at Level 3, and the remaining students at Level 4. In English Language Arts, 19% of students performed at Level 1, 41% of students at Level 2, 31% of students at Level 3, and the remaining students at Level 4. For science, 28% of students performed at Level 1, 32% of students performed at Level 2, 28% of students performed at Level 3, and the remaining students performed at Level 4. And for history and government, called social studies in middle school, the large majority of students performed at Level 2 with 38% or at Level 3 with 52%. Core class teachers are provided an explicit goal by state assessment and MAP tests for student achievement. While these goals are useful, I've noticed the teachers bristle at the need to teach for tests. I believe that part of the issue teachers have with so much required assessment is the apparent motivation to teach students how to answer test questions correctly rather than broadly educate them. As a Spanish teacher, I am not particularly affected by these tests, aside from the need to pull students out of my classes for testing. Shawnee Heights provides a variety of educational options for students, both at the higher end of achievement and the lower end. There are honors classes that are classes with prerequisites that students can qualify into, such as Honors Math, Spanish 1, and the SOARS, or Gifted program. There are also classes designated for student improvement, such as Read 180, which has the goal of increasing growth in MAP testing, and Study Skills class. Shawnee Heights implements a variety of learning accommodations, such as individual education individualized educational programs, student intervention programs, 504 plans for disability provisions, health concern plans provided by the nursing office, special education, and the SOARS program, which both provide IEP plans. These plans are essential for all students to receive an approximation of equal educational opportunity and treatment. According to the U.S. Department of Education, the IEP creates an opportunity for teachers, parents, school administrators, related services personnel, and students, when appropriate, to work together to improve educational results for children with disabilities. Personally, I find the separation of students by ability level helpful in classroom management. For example, I struggle less with classroom management with my Spanish 1 classes, which students must qualify for, than with my Intro to Spanish classes, which all students take. I believe this has to do with student expectations of rigor involved in an advanced class, and the desire for excelling students to keep up with their peers. The school provides a variety of testing accommodations as designated by IEP or 504 plans. These accommodations include adjusting pacing during testing, taking tests in a separate setting, instructions read aloud, preferential seating, and use of materials such as calculators when assessment of those skills is not the goal of the test. When planning for testing, I need to arrange for another teacher or paraprofessional to help with testing, for example, reading directions aloud for students with IEP or 504 accommodations. I need to write into my planning the necessary steps to address needs specified by these plans, as well as student health specifics, for example, the need for glasses, preferential seating,